Why there is more matter than antimatter. Have you ever looked into the night sky and felt a question, not in your mind, but in your very bones? A deep, silent whisper from the cosmos? It's a question about existence itself. Why is there something instead of nothing? We take it for granted. The ground beneath our feet, the air in our lungs, the screen you're watching right now. It all feels solid, real, permanent. But what if I told you that this reality, this magnificent, sprawling universe of galaxies, stars, and planets, is the result of a cosmic crime, a theft of epic proportions that happened in the very first moments of everything? Welcome, travelers. Today, we are diving into one of the deepest, most profound mysteries of existence. Why is the universe made of matter? And where did all the antimatter go? This isn't just a physics problem, this is a ghost story. The story of a missing twin, a shadow universe that should be, but isn't. And the answer, when we find it, will rewrite not just our science, but our very understanding of what it means to be. Let's go back. Not just back in time, but to the very concept of beginning, to a point of infinite heat, infinite density, the Genesis moment, the Big Bang. In that first searing flash of existence, energy was all there was, a pure, undifferentiated potential. And as this newborn universe expanded and cooled at a ferocious rate, this energy began to condense. It had to become something. And according to the most sacred laws of physics, it didn't create just one kind of something. It created in perfect, mirrored pairs. For every particle of matter that flickered into being, a perfect twin was born alongside it. Antimatter. Think of it as the ultimate cosmic symmetry. Imagine a master craftsman creating a perfect, glowing sword. And as he hammers it out, an identical, shimmering shadow sword appears with every strike. One is matter, the stuff we are. The other is antimatter, its perfect reflection. They are true twins in almost every way. Identical mass, identical spin, identical but opposite in charge. Where an electron is negative, its antimatter twin, the positron, is positive. They are yin and yang, locked in a divine dance. But this dance has a dark and final step. When matter and antimatter meet, they don't just bump into each other, they embrace. And in that embrace, they annihilate each other in a final glorious flash of pure light, returning to the energy from which they came. They cancel each other out. It is the most perfect, most efficient reaction in the universe. A reset button on existence. And this is where our cosmic crime scene begins. In that first furious second after the Big Bang, the universe was a seething cauldron of energy birthing these twin pairs, quarks and antiquarks, electrons and positrons, all popping into existence, meeting their twins and vanishing in a blaze of light. A frenzied, brilliant dance of creation and immediate destruction. Given this perfect symmetry, this perfect balance, what should have happened? The universe should have created equal amounts of matter and antimatter. They should have all found each other. They should have all annihilated. And the entire cosmos should have been nothing but a fading cloud of light, expanding forever into an eternal, empty, silent darkness. A universe of nothing. But you're here. I'm here. The Andromeda Galaxy is here. This didn't happen. Something went wrong. Or perhaps something went miraculously right. So, where did all the antimatter go? It's one of the most haunting questions in all of science. We are living in the aftermath of a battle, and only one side is left standing. We are the survivors of an annihilation that should have been total. The numbers are staggering. For every 1 billion particles of antimatter that were created in the Big Bang, there were 1 billion and 1 particles of matter. Just one extra. 1 in a billion. It seems like a tiny, insignificant fluke, a rounding error in the grand cosmic equation. But in that tiny, almost imperceptible imbalance lies everything. All the galaxies, all the stars, all the planets, every human being who has ever lived, we are all made from that leftover 1 in a billion. We are the residue, the ashes of a fire that almost completely consumed its own fuel. We are made of stardust, yes, but more fundamentally, we are made of a cosmic surplus. The rest, the billion pairs, found each other, embraced, and returned to light. That primordial annihilation is the afterglow we see today as the cosmic microwave background, the faint echo of that great conflagration. But the 1 in a billion, that one particle of matter that couldn't find its antimatter twin to annihilate with, that's us. That's everything we see. This means that the universe, at its very core, is not perfectly symmetrical. There's a fundamental crack in the mirror. Physicists call this CP violation, but that name doesn't capture its magic. Let's call it the preference. Somehow, in the laws of physics, there is a tiny, almost hidden bias, a slight preference for matter to persist over antimatter. It's as if the universe, in its foundational code, has a single line that reads, "Let there be a little more stuff." Finding this bias has been the work of decades. We've seen hints of it in the delicate, decaying dances of strange subatomic particles called kaons and B-mesons. In giant underground detectors, we watch these particles transform, and we see that matter and antimatter don't always behave as perfect mirror images. The antimatter versions decay just a fraction of a percent differently. It's a whisper of a difference, but in the frenetic, high-energy chaos of the infant universe, that whisper was enough. It was enough to allow that 1 in a billion surplus to survive. But here's the truly mystical part. The bias we have found in our experiments is not enough. It's too small. The subtle asymmetries we've measured in our particle accelerators are far too feeble to account for the vast, matter-dominated cosmos we live in. So where is the rest of the bias? Where is the main event? It's still out there, a hidden rule, a fundamental force of nature that we have not yet discovered, a ghost in the machine of reality. This isn't just a missing piece of physics. This is a philosophical and spiritual earthquake. It tells us that the universe is not a cold, deterministic machine. It has a tilt, a leaning, a preference for existence. Why? Was it a random fluctuation in the quantum foam of the beginning? A roll of the dice that, against all odds, came up in our favor? Or was it something else? Could there be a reason, a purpose, woven into the fabric of space-time itself that required a material universe to come into being? That required us? Think about the conditions for life. For complex chemistry, for planets to form, for stars to burn for billions of years, you need stable matter. You can't build a planet from annihilating particles. You can't have a biology of light. The universe's bias for matter is the single most important prerequisite for life. Without it, no complexity, no consciousness, no one to look up at the stars and wonder. It feels like a cosmic fine-tuning of the most dramatic kind. This leads our minds to the edge of speculation, to the shores of the magical and the futuristic. Perhaps our universe is but one bubble in a vast, frothing multiverse. In an infinite sea of other universes, most might have achieved perfect symmetry and vanished into nothingness. Others might have been dominated by antimatter, and we just happen to live in one of the rare, lucky ones where the numbers worked out. We won the cosmic lottery. Or perhaps the antimatter isn't truly gone. What if During that primordial separation, the antimatter was somehow shunted away, forming its own separate shadow universe, a universe of anti-galaxies, anti-stars, anti-planets, made entirely from the antimatter that we lost, a universe we can never touch, never see, never communicate with, because any contact would be instant annihilation, a parallel cosmos forever separated from us by the fundamental laws of physics. What would that universe look like? Would its physics be the mirror of ours? Would time flow differently? Would they too be looking out into the cosmos, wondering where all the matter went? These are not just fanciful ideas. They are the frontiers of cosmology. We are searching for the fingerprints of this ultimate asymmetry in the heavens, in the behavior of distant galaxies, in the subtle patterns of the cosmic microwave background, in the very gravity that bends the fabric of space. We are also trying to conjure antimatter in our labs, to trap it in magnetic bottles, to study this ghostly substance and ask it directly why it surrendered to us, why it let us be. The answer, when it comes, will be more profound than we can imagine. It will tell us why we are here. It will tell us if the universe is inherently life-friendly, if our existence is a happy accident, or if it is part of a deeper, more mysterious pattern. We are the children of a broken symmetry. We are the evidence of a cosmic imperfection. And in that imperfection, we find our entire reality. The journey to understand this is the greatest detective story ever told. And we are all part of it. Every time we gaze at the stars, we are looking at the evidence of that first foundational moment when the universe chose to be. If this journey into the heart of existence resonated with you, if you felt that spark of wonder, then do me a favor. Give this video a like. It truly helps the channel. Subscribe and become a fellow traveler with us as we explore the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. And leave a comment below. What do you think happened to the antimatter? Do you believe it was a random fluke, or does it feel like something more intentional? And if your hunger for these mysteries is truly awakened, if you want to go further down the rabbit hole and explore the nature of reality, consciousness, and the possibility that our universe is a holographic projection, then I invite you to check out my book, Holographic Multiverse. In it, we dive even deeper into these ideas, exploring how the very laws of physics might be a code on a distant boundary of reality. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, for wondering, and for being a part of this incredible material universe. Remember, we are made of stardust, yes, but more than that, we are made of a miracle, a 1 in a billion miracle. Never forget how magical that is. Until next time, keep looking up.